WWE and Triple H have a major problem that must be addressed and fixed. In this video, I'm going to tell you what that problem is and how they can fix it, because WWE on the outside is in a really good spot right now. Business is on fire across all major business metrics coming out of WrestleMania. Even going into Mania, business was on fire to the point where they were doing record numbers financially, record profits across all key business metrics, whether that be media rights, live event, gate, merchandise, royalties, etc. WWE and what they've been able to do is really remarkable, especially coming out of the pandemic, especially during a time in which the company has been put in a negative light. Think about it. They've had the Vince McMahon scandal. We had to go through 2 of his retirements. Yes, 2. And what was the catalyst behind it? Well, horrific allegations. But it also led us to a very pivotal moment in the history of WWE, because it saw the change of the guard. The creative leadership was forever changed. We finally got rid of Vince McMahon in the summer of 2022, or at least we thought for the moment, because Paul Triple H Levesque took over main roster creative in that time period, starting really with the SummerSlam card. The defining moment was when Bayley walked out with a returning Io Sky and Dakota Kai to form Damage Control. That set off the tipping point. In addition to the continuation of the Bloodline storyline, the rise of Cody Rhodes, the pivot with Jey Uso becoming a single star, and the arrivals on the main roster, at least, of your Tiffany Strattons, your returns of your Naomis, and your debuts of Jade Cargill. Also, we got one of the best builds and one of the most stacked WrestleManias in recent history. And oh, by the way, it went through so many different twists and turns, with The Rock returning in January, ultimately leading to a tag team match where he went against his cousin in Roman Reigns to defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, only for Cody Rhodes to finally finish his story the second night of WrestleMania by beating our Tribal Chief Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. There's a problem that's been going on coming out of Mania, and I wanted to address this because it seems like every single day this problem continues to come up. Now, in some ways, WB, well, they've been able to put a Band-Aid on it. In a lot of ways, they haven't even addressed it at all, but it's time. I'm sick and tired of seeing it, because if you want WWE to succeed, and if you think AEW already has too much of a loaded roster, then you know this problem very well. Fightful Select, and kudos to Sean Ross Sapp for being able to break so many of these stories, has continuously reported over the last few months all of these contracts with WWE stars expiring. Think about it. We have gone from Drew McIntyre to Seth Rollins to Becky Lynch, and now we're up to, and here's the updated list: Chad Gable, Natalya, Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza. There are so many talents that they've had their contracts legitimately coming up, while in Becky Lynch's situation, she was the women's world champion, and they didn't know if she was going to re-sign or not, so they had to have her drop the championship at a time, and then she notified that she was leaving. She's going to take a long hiatus. In the case of Drew McIntyre, there was months upon months upon months. Is he going to resign? Is he going to leave? What is he going to do? He's going to WrestleMania. He's challenging. What is he doing? What could he do? Could he? Would he? Okay, he challenges Seth Rollins. Okay, great. He signed a new deal. Right? Like, there's so much of this. Chad Gable. His contract is literally, as we're recording this video, days before the Clash at the Castle PLE, where he is challenging Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. His contract expires, or expired, on June 9th. That PLE is on June 15th. Now, there was a report a few months ago, if you recall, I believe Mike Johnson of PW Insider broke it, which was talking about how there was a guy in talent relations who had just got forgotten that all these contracts were coming due, to the point where they had to reshuffle talent relations. You cannot have some of the biggest names. Like, it's one thing to have like a Natalia, and look, I understand that he's very talented, but even a Ricochet, obviously Garza and Carrillo, who really cares, right? They're just kind of role players. But you have those talents. Okay, it's one thing to have those talents contracts coming due within months, weeks, sometimes days. It's a completely different scenario when you have your Seth Rollinses and your Becky Lynches and your Drew McIntyres, where their deals are coming up. They're your biggest stars under contract. How about Chad Gable, who has single-handedly taken over the best male storyline on Monday Night Raw? Personally, I think Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley storyline is the biggest storyline going on right now on Monday Night Raw. You have Chad Gable, who has been all over WWE television, who has legitimately caused fans to rally behind him. He's doing an epic storyline with Sami Zayn over the Intercontinental Championship. He's feuding with one of your most popular stars for one of your most prestigious championships. And you could potentially have this guy walk out the door and do so in the middle of a freaking storyline? Like, what are we doing? Now, like I said, depending on when you hear this, I assume that they will come to a contract extension to get him through Clash at the Castle. If not, just re-sign him outright. I cannot see them letting him go. But, and I could see some people saying, well, if they let him go, what's the big deal? He's not going to make an impact on AEW. No, but he's a great hand. He's a great talent. If you're someone who wants to get over, you want to work with a guy like Chad Gable, he's going to make you look good. If you're a WWE, you look at Chad Gable and you go, okay, the guy can flat out work with anybody. He's a really good promo. His character work is right there. What is he missing? Well, he's missing size. Well, who cares, right? Like, let's get it together. So, if you look at all that, I think you have to take into consideration the moves that WWE must take in order for you to move forward. You have to fix these problems, and you have to do it at a rapid pace. Let me know down in the comments area below, what do you think? If you need merch, I got some sweet deals for you down in the description below. And if you would, join the masses and hitting that notification bell so you are notified every single time we upload new content here to the channel.